All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of Gar Capital. It is Thursday, April 25th, 2024, here on our YouTube channel. Glad to be with you. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button if you like these videos. Appreciate all the support. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. That starts with you clicking that button. So, again, thanks so much for your support. Let's go ahead and get started. Dow futures are down 436. We did have a advanced GDP number. So this is the initial GDP number for the United States that came in softer than expected. We were already red in terms of futures due to Facebook, or excuse me, metaverse. So with that being said, Nasdaq's down 272 points, down 1.5%, with the S&P down 1.19%. The Russell was green, interesting enough, before the GDP number. So again, outperformance more than anything else. So I would say more of a rotation maybe out of tech very soon. We do have more tech earnings coming. We have Microsoft and I believe Alphabet. Let's go and take a look. Microsoft, Alphabet, Intel, Snap, and Roku. Okay, and then the energy boys tomorrow, Exxon and Chevron. So let's go ahead and get started quickly. Well, first, we're going to go ahead and start with Metaverse. And anyone who was watching the weekly video this past weekend knows that I was a bit bearish on Meta. I was actually looking for puts. Way too expensive. Implied volatility was very juiced. Um, the volatility expected was high, and looks like the IV was kind of priced to perfection. In terms of Meta at the moment, since the market is closed, I'm not going to get a percentage read how much we're down, but we're at 417. So we're down about 15.42% on Metaverse. And again, we talked about this daily gap here. That was the level that I was looking for. So with that being said, 417, technically speaking, if we look at the 4 hour, we filled it. But that's not a daily gap fill. So again, we'll see if the actual chart will show it. But for argument's sake, we'll say that it's filled. So here, whatever, who cares? What's the point, right? The gap is filled. This is where I believe you go long and you keep the stop at 401. Very simple. I think you buy in this dip. Meta is incredibly profitable. And yes, they do have a lot of cash burn. Um, if Metaverse had the Tesla type quarter, Metaverse would probably be at 275 this morning, almost limit down. So they had an excellent quarter, in my opinion. The only thing is the guidance being cost for the AI technology. I mean, this is a growth company, guys. Metaverse is going to spend. Tesla's going to spend. This is kind of what the expectation is. Metaverse has had a hell of a run up. We saw this trend line break and we talked about it, but there was no volume or anything worth trading, in my opinion. That's why I did not send out a meta trade to the downside, but I did believe that we were going to go ahead and fall. Um, Looks like it did. In terms of the stock, you could do the 3-day rule, which is after any major move in terms of earnings or something like that, and there's a stock you want to buy, wait 3 days and then see if you still want it. Worst case scenario, it goes down a little more and you get a better price. Best case scenario goes up a little bit and confirms the bias that you have. So, am I running out and buying Metaverse today? No, not at this very juncture. Again, we'll see exactly how it goes in the next couple of days. I would say Tesla becomes more interesting to me, if anything, if you're looking for a dip buy. And again, Metaverse is fine. If you want to buy it, you could buy it. If you own it already, that's fine. But again, it was a technical breakdown, and now we're going to get a gap to fill. Doesn't mean it's not profitable. Doesn't mean it's not a good company. It's just technicals right now. And again, we're talking about technicals with Tesla. And again, we still have a gap to fill to the downside now after earnings. We are now trading about $2 below. So let's see if we break above the recent highs of 167.80. Today will be day 2 post earnings. We'll see where the weekly candle closes. And right now, again, let's say the weekly candle closed at this level. This is a buy to me. I would put a price target for the next 12 to 18 months if I was an investment bank to 200. And again, all we're trying to trade is the gap fills. We're still in this channel. Nothing has changed until 140 breaks. I think you stay long on Tesla. They've had a lot of bad news being front run. Everyone hated Metaverse 2 back in 2022. And this is kind of how it goes. Back to Meta. So You got your stop, or I guess your level of support, right at 400. You're trading at 418. We don't have full volume of the market yet since the stock market is closed. This was reported after hours. So let's see how the real volume comes in for the stock market, and then we'll get an idea of where Meta goes. So am I going to run out and buy calls? No. Am I going to run out and buy stock? No. All I want to do is watch it, see what kind of move we get. I wouldn't be surprised if we get back above 450. I wouldn't be surprised if we retake 400. Right now, you're right in the middle. There is no edge. Hold on to your money. No reason to do anything there, guys. Moving on to S&P, we are pulling back a little bit here, 50.43. Some of that's Facebook. A lot of it's the GDP number, and that GDP number did come in. We'll go to the live market blog. And again, if you guys want access, make sure to look at the scroll down below our website. GDP came in, that's price index, GDP 1.6%. The forecast was 2.5%. So not ideal, obviously. So the question is, when do we get the rate cuts? Or if we get rate cuts? Looks like Fed funds futures are not pricing in rate cuts until December, I believe. So with that being said, S&P 500 futures. Let's take a look at this here. And again, really the level that we have been targeting in terms of, hey, let's not get excited until it's the 50-day. And that's right around 51.59, 51.60. We didn't get there yet. Really, I can't say, oh, yeah, we're going to tank. Got to hold 49.88. That's your 100-day. So right now, more of a neutral day, in my opinion. We have PCE tomorrow. The good news is we haven't had any Fed speakers. We had 2 up days, 2 down days so far. So if we were to close at levels today, we'd be where we were on Tuesday. So kind of a wishy-washy back and forth. So there is opportunities out there in single stocks. In terms of futures, I don't see much edge until we start breaking down at least below the lows of the 100-day moving average. If we take a look at the NASDAQ, we are below the 100-day moving average. So what are we going to look for? Let's expand to the weekly. We're below the 20-week moving average. So how we close this week will be important. We need to get above 645 on NASDAQ. Get back to the daily. What are we looking for to hold? Right at the lows, 128. So we'll call it 17,100. If 17,100 breaks down, 16,433 is your, or 16,440 would be your next support. That is your 20-day moving average. The NASDAQ is looking weak. We are about to get into a period of seasonal weakness in May. You ever heard the saying, sell in May and go away? So maybe we have to put our bear hats on. I know we just had a nice snapback, kind of, can't say dead cat bounce, but a relief rally. This was something we expected, something we talked about this weekend. And then we'll see how we close this week in terms of these indexes. And then we can start making a decision on what to expect next week. But right now, it seems that with the GDP numbers and all this stuff like that, I expect a little bit more weakness, if not a little more chop, heading into the PCE number. Granted, we do have Microsoft earnings. So if we were to get to the 50-day moving average on S&P, it's going to take a blockbuster quarter from Microsoft to get us there. In terms of crude oil, that's down 0.28%. Gasoline futures are flat. Gold is flat. Silver is up slightly. Copper's up 1.77. Thank you, FCX. And euro dollar down 13 pips. Dollar yen continues to soar higher, 31 pips. Bitcoin down 1.3% after that GDP number. Ethereum 1.2%. Bond yields are higher. The dollar is up and the VIX is up 5.51%. For some context, last Friday, the VIX was near 19. We're at 1685. So, a little bit of a pullback there. That was a lot. Let's go and answer some questions. FCX, can I enter? I missed it. Yeah, FCX is a signal that we sent. Yes, you can go ahead and get in if we're not at 40% already this morning. I hope so. Morning, what stocks are you looking for long-term buying? Well, I would say the one that stands out would be Tesla, number one. Metaverse would be nice too. But again, just depends on really the time frame that we're looking for. Right now, we're still swinging advanced auto parts, AAP, and that's back to green. So, if I see anything that's worth it, I'll definitely let our investment club know on the Discord. When would you consider buying Meta? 3-day rule. Wait for the 3 days. We're still waiting. We're on the second day on Tesla. Stay disciplined. The market's not going anywhere. We're just observing. XOM, please. The freebie. Okay, so again, you're probably thinking to yourself, I'm going to pull my hair out. Look at this chop here. Valero had a pretty decent quarter, not the best quarter, but up pre market. Last I checked, XOM was up pre market. Now it's pretty much flat. Consolidation here. I still expect this cup and handle to see this cup here, and you got your handle. I do expect us fully 123.75, in my opinion, will be broken tomorrow because of earnings. That's just my opinion. Now, again, I have a longer date expiry, so if it doesn't break that, that's fine by me. But the setup is there, and I fully expect XOM to break out above 123.75 tomorrow. VLO as well. Yes, VLO pre-market is up. They had their earnings, so again, at least the market's cheering that. This wick pullback is really from the GDP number, so we're getting most stocks pulling back due to that figure. But VLO is green pre-market. If we take a look at the daily, still relatively bullish. Nothing has changed. Still above the breakout. We got to recapture that 20-day, and I think we're gonna get there just a little more. We need crude oil to give us a little bit more love. It's down today because of the dollar. Uh, CVX. Everyone loves energy stocks. CVX breaking out. Yes, I am dying to fill this gap at 166.16. Check this out, guys. Got the wedge breakout. You got another wedge breakout. Goes higher. I think energy stocks still have more to go. We still have a golden cross on these names. We have a golden cross on CVX, XOM, XLE, and crude oil. I mean, yes, the textbooks could be wrong, obviously, but I fully expect us to fill this gap at 166.16. Will we get there tomorrow? Chevron is a little different than Exxon. Chevron is actually pretty much acquiring different companies. So they've been pulling back here and there. XOM has been trading a lot better than Chevron. But Chevron is set up for a breakout on the daily. Take a look at that. So I fully expect us to move higher. Now, I don't have the call that will fill that gap on earnings. That's going to be a tough one. I think XOM goes higher. CVX might chop a little bit. That's the only thing I'm kind of concerned with. If not, I would have gone long as well, but I chose Valero and XOM. So I'll ride it with that. But if CVX shows me some volume with some time, I'm going to go ahead and get in on Chevron on this gap fill at 166. Maybe the 170 calls. Very similar kind of setup. That wedge breakout that we got, I believe that was on Citi. I think that's when we got it. Thoughts on Amazon earnings today, price target. Amazon earnings. Let's see, an Amazon pulling back. Obviously, GDP number. Got your wedge, breakout, breakdown, and then you have your gap fill here at 170.38. So that should be filled probably today, but we have one more gap to fill here at 159.88. So kind of the similar situation as Meta. That gap fill from earnings prior might be getting filled. So in my opinion, and I love Amazon, it looks like Amazon's going to fill that gap to the downside. We broke below the 50, guys. So I hate to say that. I think Amazon has more to go, down to 160. Oh, it's next week. Yeah, I figured. I saw Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft. I saw. What about Microsoft and earnings? Yes. So we did some polls on our live market blog. So the last two stocks that we put in our polls were I believe it was Meta, and we did Tesla, and the majority were wrong, both of them. So Meta reports after the bell. What do you say for the stock? 53% said higher. So again, it's Tesla had a bad quarter, the stock soared. Meta had a great quarter, and their stock tanked. Welcome to it. Let's get to Microsoft earnings today. 397. We are now below the 100-day. Well, that's going to be tough. Now I'm leaning more of a retest of 385. That's your support here. That's the previous breakout. Really, the previous breakout before that, which was the all-time high breakout, was right around 366. And even if we got there, that would be completely natural and completely expected because it would hold the trend line. So I love Microsoft, but I think Microsoft pulls back too. I think it gets down to 385. So maybe some NASDAQ puts, fingers crossed. We'll see. We can see if we can get maybe Amazon or Microsoft down. Amazon does next week, obviously. Morning, Carlos. Did I miss your comments on BAC? No, you didn't. Bank of America, I have open. Let's take a look at the daily. Again, 38.61 for that breakout. And if we go out to the weekly, you can see it's been pretty much stuck in this wedge. Setup of a kind of Inverse Head and Shoulders, I fully expect us to get us to around 40.36. It's pulling back this morning because of the GDP. That's really it. That's why you buy time. That's why you buy time for this volatility. Boeing, yes, Masterclass and I, we had puts and we were down 97% here. Held, still holding. And we will probably be in the money on our 162.5 puts. That was for Masterclass. I did take half position off before the earnings report. So I think I took that for about -7% with the team. I fully expect Boeing to continue to fall down. If you're starting to notice a little bit of pattern here, like I said, seasonal weakness in May, you may have to put a little bit of bear caps on. Monday, Tuesday, guys, let's be real. That was completely a relief bounce from oversold conditions. There is no reason that Tesla should have been up 11% yesterday. Okay, that was a bad quarter. Like revenue was down, profit was down. It was just bad. But again, oversold conditions, these things happen. So you got to be careful. Do your homework. Look around. Start seeing what the charts are telling you. Use RSI sometimes. Just really kind of look a little deeper than just the headlines on CNBC is my point. So 162.59, that's my alert. If that breaks down, 147.80 is the next target. And then guess what? That's going to get oversold and that's going to bounce. Way of the world. Oracle coin. Let's start with coin. Coinbase. Saw Coinbase yesterday was bouncing as well, right on the 50-day. So this is going to be dependent on how it closes today. Right here, 187 would be your next level of support. That was the last time we spiked back in December. Then we pulled back. So Coinbase is going to move with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's down, guess where Coinbase is going? Down with it. Oracle. Pretty choppy. Did fill its gap. Anything down here? Got one more gap to fill here at 108.34. And that's pretty much your support if you're looking for a little more of an opportunity to buy it. 114.30. Got an upward trend. Yeah, I would say below 110. Then you're going to start looking at 100 as your support. So I guess what am I expecting here? Oracle, please. I assume, excuse me, that you're asking me what level would you look for to buy if I was to buy Oracle? $100. $100.43 or so. That would be your support from the daily. Excuse me. That was very hard to get out. And you're welcome. Let's see. Southwest Airlines. I read a headline regarding some union stuff. I want to say with some flight attendant stuff. I'll tell you this, Southwest has been underperforming names like Delta. Why? It's because of Boeing and the exposure they have. So until Southwest kind of gets away from that dark cloud, I would not want to be long. I would think on Southwest Airlines, you're actually setting up for a Head and Shoulders. So actually, Love looks pretty bad. So expect maybe the 24 level to come. We are really setting up for some mean pullbacks here, guys. So bear caps for real, man. Damn, if that's where we're going, May is going to be down, down. And that's it. All right, great. Oh, Google. I almost missed that. Google, one more. Okay, so Google is stuck in a nice upward trend, at least. You do have a gap to fill here at 144.90. In order to get there, you'd have to get below 146.93. I would be more bullish on Google than I would be on Microsoft in terms of the stock price action after earnings. Google looks like it would actually hold up. It's at 154 this morning, obviously post Meta, and that's still just right here. You're still in the upward trend. Nothing has really broken. So testament to Google and their strong price action on their stock. I think here you would probably be neutral. This can go one way or another, so I would kind of stay away from this one. Microsoft, I would say gets the pullback. Amazon as well, but Amazon doesn't report this week. So Microsoft, I think it goes lower. Take that information as you will. Let's see, Palo Alto Networks, and then let's see here, daily chart. 264 support. You're at 286 now. We're at 286. It's got to hold right here, 266. If that cannot hold on Palo Alto, you're going to get lower, 200, 218. So if you're looking to buy that stock, I would say wait it out. Wait it out a bit. Looks like that seasonal weakness is coming. Nice bounce in the Monday and Tuesday, but that might be it. We'll see what we get. All right, guys, have a great rest of your morning. I got to go check in with the server on Discord. If you guys are interested in joining, information is scrolling below. Thanks again for your time, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers all.